Welcome to a deep dive into the life and tragic death of Sheck Exley, a legendary figure in the world of cave diving. This is a story of courage, exploration, and the ultimate sacrifice made in pursuit of the unknown. Let's begin. Sheck Exley was born in 1949 in the United States. By the 1970s, he had become a towering name in cave diving, a sport that demands both skill and fearlessness. With over 4,000 dives to his credit, Exley wasn't just a diver. He was a pioneer, an educator, and a record breaker. He wrote Basic Cave Diving, a blueprint for survival, a book that's still a gold standard for safety in the field. Imagine that a man who didn't just explore the depths, but made sure others could follow safely. Exley's achievements were breathtaking. He was the first to dive beyond 1,000 feet in a cave, a barrier that seemed impossible at the time. One of his greatest triumphs came in 1993 at Bushman's Gat, South Africa. There he descended to 863 feet, 263 meters, using a special gas blend called Trimix to fend off the dangers of nitrogen narcosis and oxygen toxicity. But that dive wasn't without its struggles. He felt tremors and saw double signs of something called high-pressure nervous syndrome, or HPNS. Still, he made it back alive, proving his resilience. Then came 1994. Exley and his diving partner, Jim Bowden, turned their sights to Zacaton, a sinkhole in Tamaulipas, Mexico. This wasn't just any dive site. Zacaton plunges beyond 112 feet, 339 meters, making it one of the deepest underwater caves on Earth. The plan was meticulous. Separate guidelines, multiple gas tanks, everything calculated. They wanted to set a world record, but only Bowden would surface. Exley never made it back. It was April 6, 1994. The two men began their descent armed with Trimix, a mix of oxygen, helium, and nitrogen, to handle the crushing pressure. Bowden hit trouble at 925 feet. Gas running low, HPNS symptoms kicking in. He had to turn back. Exley kept going. Later, they found his body at 906 feet, tangled in his guideline, one tank still full. What happened down there? That question haunts us still. Let's explore the first theory, high-pressure nervous syndrome. HPNS strikes when you dive deep past 492 feet, especially with helium in your gas mix. Helium keeps nitrogen narcosis at bay, but under extreme pressure, it messes with your nervous system. Picture this: tremors shaking your hands, dizziness spinning your head, maybe even seizures or hallucinations. At 906 feet, Exley was under 28 atmospheres of pressure. That's like 28 times the weight of the air above us right now. HPNS could have hit him harder than at Bushman's Gat. Exley knew HPNS. He'd felt it before and fought it off. But at Zacaton, the stakes were higher. Some think it overwhelmed him tremors so bad he couldn't switch gas tanks, or a seizure that knocked him out cold. His body wrapped around that guideline hints at a desperate struggle to hold on. And there's more. HPNS might have mixed with oxygen toxicity, a deadly combo if his gas wasn't just right. Too much oxygen at that depth and your body convulses. Too little and you fade into hypoxia. Either way, seconds matter, and Exley didn't have them. Now let's consider the second theory, a gas mixture error. Deep diving isn't just about guts, it's about precision. Trimix has to be perfect. Exley used Trimix 629 for the bottom 6% oxygen, 29%, helium, 65% nitrogen, and Trimix 10.5 Sur 50 higher up. The numbers keep oxygen and nitrogen in check. But what if something went wrong? Maybe the oxygen was too high, spiking toxicity. Maybe too low, starving his brain. Or maybe he grabbed the wrong tank, a travel mix not meant for 906 feet. Exley was careful, but mistakes happen. His main tanks were empty when they found him. Did he switch to a backup under duress? If HPNS was already clouding his mind, a fumbled switch could have been fatal. Bowden had gear trouble too. Zacaton wasn't forgiving that day. Imagine Exley fighting tremors, reaching for a tank and breathing the wrong mix. Oxygen toxicity hits or hypoxia creeps in and he's gone. Here's a chilling thought. Maybe it wasn't one or the other. Maybe HPNS and a gas error teamed up. Picture Exley shaking, disoriented, fumbling his gear. He switches tanks, but it's wrong. Too much oxygen, convulsions start. Or too little, and he blacks out. At that depth, there's no room for error, no time to recover. The guideline held him, but the abyss didn't let go. Exley's death wasn't the end of his story. He left a legacy that echoes through diving today. His safety rules, his book, they've saved lives. Even in his final moments, he showed who he was. Wrapping himself in that line, some say he did it so rescuers wouldn't risk their lives to find him. That's Exley, brave, selfless, a pro to the end. So what killed Sheck Exley at Zacaton? We may never know for sure. HPNS could have crippled him. A gas mix-up could have finished him. Or both in a perfect storm of danger. His story teaches us this: deep diving is a frontier where heroes like Exley push limits and sometimes pay the price. Sheck Exley wasn't just a diver. He was a legend who charted the unknown, a man who lived for the thrill and died chasing it. His tale is a tribute to human daring and a sobering reminder to respect the deep. Thank you for listening.